Welcome to Market Tea Tuesday,
where the tea is always hot.
Good morning and happy Tuesday. We have a special guest today. We have Jamie Miller here of Art of Conscious Communication. So we're very excited to share a little bit. So Carolina and I will share a little bit of fun market data. That's what you guys are all here for.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Fed came out this week and said that they gave hope that rates will come down near the end of the year. So that is hopeful. However, Something that we talk about is that we want to get buyers, especially first-time home buyers, into houses before that happens, because we'll add 5 million people to the market when that happens, which means that we're going to go crazy, which is going to drive prices back up again, and we enter into a seller market. So,
right. And it just kind of like, if we wait till then, we're going to miss the opportunity now, where you as a buyer, you have the upper hand, right? Like typically in the spring, we do see an uptick in the market, it picks up, but right now that's not the reality of it. And a lot of it is because of the higher mortgage rates and the uncertainty in the economy. So we just have to kind of work through those things, but we don't want to miss the opportunity for you to still have leverage as the buyer going in, with your offer.
And Jamie, what would you say to a buyer that is on the fence about buying a house, like because all they hear is the gloom and doom of the news, So what would you say to them to make them feel more comfortable, or have a realtor even help them talk to their buyers or other mortgage brokers?
Right.
All right. So as I've been listening to this and again, I'm external from the industry, yet I'm going to hopefully provide clarity for your listeners, and it will help them navigate their conversations when it comes to rates. Because I'm about to say something and I realize I'm making a statement. I'm going to say rates are irrelevant. All right. I'm just going to flat out say rates are irrelevant. And I realize that it could be like, I call it Stephanie syndrome. I just taught this in the room in there. If I tell my girlfriend, you are stunning, if she doesn't feel that way, it goes in one ear and out the other, and she tells me I need glasses, all right, because she's not feeling that way. So if I tell all your audience rates are irrelevant, they're like, well, my boss says that's the case, but I don't believe it.
And my grandma's brother's sister,
Yeah, or I think my parents' generation, I remember when the rates were in the double-digit percentage, all right?
So that does show that it's relevant, though.
But now I need your audience to understand, internalize this lesson for themselves. If you have someone like me telling you it's irrelevant, it's more important you get yourself to a place that you believe that they're irrelevant. So here's how you do that. I'm going to challenge you all to drive in your cars, all right, and drive to gas stations around where you live. And I'm not a gambling person, yet I will bet that there is going to be someone who's homeless, who's stooped on a step outside the gas station, and they're going to be holding beer, cigarettes, and they're going to have one of these devices that actually has service to it, and yet they don't make any money. And this is the lesson you're going to do for yourself. As human beings, we won't do anything that we need to do in life. So people need to drink water, need to go to a gym, need to eat healthy. We won't do those things. Every human on the planet, though, will always find a way to do what they want. So the lesson for you guys to internalize, the reason I think it's irrelevant is humans are resourceful when they want something. So the pricing and the rates become irrelevant. They will justify with some kind of logic why they're going to spend the money they're going to spend based on the word feasible that we've been talking so much about. So if people are going into conversations thinking doom and gloom and rates, they're not in my wheelhouse, because I go out there. I do not care about what the world is doing. I find the people who want something badly enough that then I ask them the right questions for them to get resourceful around how they're going to figure it out.
No, that's great.
All right. So it might be a flavor that people need to digest, but if they've got someone in front of them, buyer or what have you, and they want something, the rates are still going to make it irrelevant. All right. And they will find a way to overcome it.
Yeah.
And that's my two.
And that-
Does that help?
And that, yeah, it really does. And if you think about that, like you said, the people will do what they want, right? So
Right.
that goes into a topic that we have too, where HELOC withdrawals surge as owners tap into their equity. Well, we all know that the average HELOC rate. So HELOCs run off of prime, which is what the Fed sets rates at. That's how you can borrow short-term money, okay?
Okay.
Rather than long-term money, which is considered the mortgage, right? And so when the Fed actually lowers rates, that can actually cause our mortgage rates to go up. But if the Fed lowers rates, it causes your HELOCs to go down. So right now we know that the Fed has rates high, right?
Right.
So people are tapping into home equities and having 8, 9, 10, 11, 12% interest rates because they want access to their equity, and that's the only way to do it. So it's not a need necessarily. For some people it might be, but it's a want. So that goes to the point that rates are irrelevant. So it's just the perspective that you look at it, and the news is always going to sell doom and gloom because it knows it sells, right?
Right.
That's what we talked
There's
about.
also a second part to it. Carolina was just saying how, like this is going to take place. Well, look, rather than me saying this is going to take place, what you want to do is ask your buyers, right, a simple multiple choice question. Would you say you've got really bad taste, or would you say you've got good taste when it comes to finding a home?
Yeah.
All right. Well, they're going to say they've got good taste and they want a home. When these rates do drop, which it will happen, all right, they're going to get if people want a reason, why would someone do something right now? It's because if they do have good taste and they think other people will love the same home, if they really want it, they'll just go and operate right now and buy the house right now. And they will tell themselves, you know what? When the rates do go down, I can refinance.
Yes.
And now they won't be in an argument or a battle to get a house that they actually want for themselves. Because if it does become a marketplace like that, the buyers and the sellers market, the buyers are really going to start struggling.
Absolutely.
All right. So these are all components, but you need to pose it in questions of yourself first, and then ask it externally of others, and it will then make everything that doom and gloom irrelevant.
And 44%, so to say that upon that too, with 44.4% of the listings gave seller concessions to the buyers, which means that they covered their closing costs. So it really saved the money. 44.4%. So that's huge. And
That's a lot.
New builds, because new builds are constantly giving that. So it's really a big thing. And speaking of new builds too, we really saw the price differences aren't that big right now. So the builders are not being able to offer these huge savings and promotions they were offering before.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of clients kind of steer away from new builds too. And I think there's just this misconception that this is going to be a perfect home, but they're not. Once you get that inspection, you realize there's a lot of issues going on.
Absolutely.
So I think there's a big opportunity for sellers that are, in the secondary market right now.
And they're realizing that the golden handcuffs, which are those low 2-3% rates, they want to move up. They want bigger houses. They want bigger yards, things like that. So like Jamie said, it's not a need, it's a want, and what you want. And so you just, especially this summer, we're going to see a lot of wants because people are going to have their kids home running around like crazy. We're all parents out there, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I need another bedroom. I need a bigger yard. Get these kids out of my house. So that's really big. But thank you for joining us, Jamie, today. And I hope that you guys have some good advice to help your buyers get into this market, because it is a great market. And we need to steer them towards that attitude, because it really is a great market. It's a buyer's market. That's what everybody was asking for during COVID. And here we are. Yet let's do it.
Yes. And take advantage of their seller credits. I don't think I've received a contract without credits this year. Just saying.
Yeah, that's good. All right. We'll see you guys next Tuesday.
All right. See you next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Cheers.